let's talk about this list that you tweeted. This list of can't miss players from the last 15 years.
Yeah.
Let's just mention some of the players that you mentioned on here. We've got Honey Badger.
Yes.
You're a big LSU fan, correct?
Shout out to
Yeah,
Tyrann
Baton Rouge,
Matthew.
Louisiana. Yeah.
Okay. Lamar Jackson, Travis Hunter, Cam Newton, Johnny Manziel,
Of course.
Leonard Fournette,
Yes.
Devontae Smith, Joe Burrow, and Derrick Henry.
Yes.
That's the list.
That's the list. Those guys.
Noticeably missing some Big Ten players. No Big Ten players at all on this list.
Not even just Big Ten. Not even because I'll even check our bias on that part of it, right? Because obviously we're out of Columbus, Ohio, so we're in Big Ten country.
Columbus, Ohio, Michigan fan.
Oh yeah, no, it's not even that long of a story, dog.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead. I don't mean to.
He's the Lulu.
I'm doing a respect. I'm doing a respect ranking with both of y'all. I'm gonna leave here with who I respect. It's a championship that you guys are competing for. Respect ranking you up, because for you to be right there, I know Ohio State fans. You're crazy. You're a crazy person. But go ahead.
It ain't that deep. I'm just.
He gets more respect because I was born into this, Van Lathan. Okay, all right, fair enough.
Yeah, he gets more respect because he is on enemy grounds all the time.
That is a fact.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Well, let's move forward. What you were saying?
So, checking the bias about the Big Ten thing, right? Because they're even outside of Big Ten country. There's some noticeable missing names on the can't miss list. So before I start shooting off some of the players that I thought were missing, what is can't miss? How do you define can't miss?
So for me, can't miss. I put it wrong. I mean, must watch. Players that you have to watch. Players that do sensational, amazing things on the football field. And these are the players that's like, oh my God, I want to see what this person is going to pull off today. There are different levels of this. There are excellent players. There are dominating players. They are dominating players that aren't players that have the ability to make a wow play at every time and then have made enough of those wow plays to where you don't want to miss them making one.
Okay. Is that it? Any other qualifications at all before I ask some questions?
Well, the other qualification is just it's my list. So being that it's my list, you could have 10 or 15 players. Like one of my favorite football players of all time is Bradley Van Pelt from Colorado State. Okay. This is a sport that we were born into, like you said before. It's a regional sport. It's a cultural sport. Different players move you in different ways.
Absolutely.
So the first thing you have to remember is this is my list. There are players from the Big Ten straight off the cuff that I definitely didn't put on there. Saquon Barkley, used to love watching him when he was at Penn State, right? Used to love watching him. But also remember, it's a certain type of thing when people take umbrage at your opinion. This is my list. So if I wanted to have fucking Morris Claiborne on there, if I wanted to have Glenn Dorsey on that bitch who played before the 15-year thing, it's my list. All right, so let's see.
All right, questions then. So how do we feel about current players? Because they're still forging their legacy as can't miss or must watch players. So can we get some current players off or no? We not.
You can get current players off. I mean, there are certain players that I can't think of anyone that's a current player that has put the tape together already to have made that list, but certainly there would be some current players on there.
So Jeremiah Smith is a no.
That's y'all one. No, it's not. He's not on. It's not one.
This is the best offensive player in the nation.
This is. He is. I mean, I'm not about to act like Jeremiah Smith ain't no dog. But the reality is, for Jeremiah Smith, I wouldn't put him on that list just yet. And honestly, I think me even putting Devonta Smith on the list was slightly whack. When I looked at it, it was slightly whack. But Jeremiah Smith is not there yet to me.
Okay, that's fair.
Also, just inherently putting wide receivers as the best offensive player, someone who is dependent on a whole other player on the field. You might as well say the center is the. Well, you might as well say, you know what I'm saying? Like,
can I at least get this off before the season? you said Will Howard wasn't shit, and then he won a championship because of Jeremiah Smith.
Fam,
So
Hold on. You guys got to be on one accord, man. I don't like to see this. Okay, you guys got to be united.
that's the whole basis.
See,
of
this is the problem with the
podcast.
Big Ten. This is the problem with the Big Ten. The problem with the Big Ten. This is the problem with the Big Ten.
That's
Y'all gotta
because we
be on
do
one
war
accord.
here. We do
I know.
war here. We do
I-
9 conference games and we war here.
There you go.
Playing the
But see
Citadel in
this?
November.
But see this now. Here's the deal. This is what I'll say. This is how I look at the Jeremiah Smith thing. Jeremiah Smith is the best football player in college football. Okay. He's the best football player in college football. He is. And not only is he the best football player in college football, he's the one player in college football right now that you legitimately can't do shit with. You can't do shit with him. You can't bracket him. You can't, like, whatever you do, he will bust your ass. He's going to beat you.
Somebody explain 13-10 to me. Like, somebody explain it to me, because I'm confused and I don't get it. Because if you can't bracket him, if you can't do nothing with him, somebody has to break down 13-10. I have to know the math.
I could too if you want me to.
Go ahead, Van.
What was your thoughts? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I'll tell you why. Okay, I'm telling y'all something right now. Shout out to my man Mecca Don in Mecca. So my guy, I know these Ohio State people. These are my people. Mecca, his brother. These are all these people from Columbus. My man Dan, who dressed up like Jim Tressel 4 straight Halloweens.
That's crazy.
in Los Angeles, right? These are my people. Now, I don't want to, Josh. I don't want to offend you, bro. But
I've been offended plenty of times on this podcast.
Okay.
Plenty of
Ohio.
times.
Let me tell you what happened in that game. That game has nothing to do with schematics. That game has nothing to do with talent. We always saw that.
Sure.
I don't know why, but Ohio State is scared of Michigan. And so let me tell you what I mean. Let me tell you what I mean. And by the way, as a fan of Ohio State, any Ohio State fan, it would be better to me from a fan standpoint. I'm already having fun on this podcast, by the way. It would be better to just embrace that so that you could fix it. Because I got off the phone and I said to Mecca, I said, guess what? And he was like, what? Because Mecca was fucking in the dumps.
We all were.
That was a terrible loss that Ohio State fans were trying to cope with. I called my man up and I said, you know what? And you can ask Mecca this. Ask him. Don't take it from me. Ask Mecca. I hit him up. I said, Ohio State's going to win that national championship. And it's going to put you guys in a weird position because once they go into the playoff with the amount of talent that they have, with the way that they can build momentum, and with the monkey of this game off their back, watch what happens. Mecca then went and tweeted that because people didn't believe him when he said it. He said, a friend of mine told me after the game that Ohio State was going to win the national championship, and people didn't believe him. And I went out and said, yeah, I actually did tell him that they were going to win. But back to the Michigan thing. In boxing, certain times there are fighters that rather than win a fight in the way that they win fights, they want to prove to everyone that they can beat the other boxer at their own game. When they do that, it's because they shook. It's because not only are they scared of losing, they're scared of winning in a certain way. They're not just scared of losing. Like if I box today, if I can keep you at the end of my jab, I will do it for 4 straight rounds. I don't give a fuck. I don't care nothing about saving my face. But it's not just about being afraid of losing. It's about being afraid of winning in a certain way. Ohio State, for some reason, decided that they were going to come into that game and drop their nuts on Michigan and really try to dominate and overpower Michigan. They played into Michigan's strength. And by the time that they realized that the Wolverines were not going to back down, they had already had their nuts taken. And it was one of the most fascinating games to watch in college football ever. I just expected there to be either a schematic change or the talent to rise to the occasion at some point in the game, and then they just couldn't. And then after the game, when they did what you do in every rivalry game, rather than say, you know what, we're going to fuck y'all up next year, they took it to the fucking state house. and try to legislate.
That State House don't
What
got
the-
nothing to do with real
Oh,
Ohio State
yeah,
fans.
No, it does.
Let
No,
him get
it
his shit
does.
off.
Everybody, everybody
it-
declined that.
It does because that's so fucking weak, dog.
Of course
Like,
it is.
Just line up and play the game. So Ohio State, if they play that game 10 more times, Ohio State wins. Ohio State wins. They're gonna win.
I hate
But
that.
It's the truth.
it's true to me.
I hate that. But
It's
I
true.
get why you say that. I hate the cliche of, oh, but if we ran this back, football is a here and now.
You're
We
right.
don't do series.
It's a
It ain't no
hypothetical
best of
scenario.
three,
That's
ain't no
not
best
real.
of
You're right.
10.
But I'm telling you, my daddy, rest in peace, used to say, don't matter who you are, where you are, fear can beat you. And for some reason, they didn't come out and out-talent them boys because they was fighting off the back foot as the big-time heavyweight. So everything that I said about Jeremiah Smith, which is true, I'm sorry, it's just true. He a monster. Jeremiah Smith, single best receiver I ever saw.
He's
Like,
Candace.
just like he
Jeremiah Smith already better than Calvin Johnson.
Well, I'm talking about college, so we would have to have a conversation about Calvin Johnson at Georgia Tech. But
Okay,
I
so you're
can't say
saying collegiate receiver.
I'm
He's the
talking
best
about
collegiate.
collegiately. He's
Okay, sure.
let me not say the single best. Let me say that package together. Maybe Julio Jones.
That's the
You know
comparison.
what I mean?
Yeah,
Maybe Julio Jones,
Larry
like, yeah.
Fitzgerald at Pitt was similar.
Larry Fitzgerald at Pitt, but you up there with some rarefied air. But
Yeah.
he still has to put the tape together, and we'll see if you guys got the quarterback to do this. Like, he still has to put the tape together this year to get to that spot. But I mean, not to get off away from the list, but man, you got to be honest with you. It's happened to LSU before. Bama done done it to LSU before. They did it to us in the national championship game. They cucked y'all. Y'all got cucked.
No, I do think that Ryan Day had keyword a mental block about Michigan the same way James Franklin has one about us. So like I get it, but this year's gonna be different. This year's gonna be different.
Y'all losing.
This year,
I love that you said everything that I've been saying to this man. Like
Y'all gonna lose.
y'all don't believe it. They don't believe it, man. They don't.
I can look. Y'all are going to lose.
no, we're not.
Ohio State will lose again to Michigan. It's not out of their system yet. This Michigan team is going to be better. This Ohio State team has some question marks still that I think they'll work out early in the season. I do think that they'll work them out, but they won't be where they need to be to win the game the way it's going to shake out this year. And I invite you guys, both of you, onto the new platform to talk about the game right after it happens.
Okay,
because I'm betting you right now. I bet y'all, where y'all live at?
in Columbus.
Oh, I'm never going there. But
That's crazy.
It's
The
like,
stray is nuts.
I was trying to think of like where, if y'all lived in Detroit or some shit like that, I might end up there. But I don't know. Maybe I'll go to Ohio
Detroit,
State
but never going to Columbus is
crazy.
even.
Well, I got to
even
work. Well,
crazier.
I got an organization in Detroit I work with for the young black boys. So up there with Jason Wilson. But I can't think of. I would love to go to an Ohio State game. So if I went there, I would bet dinner on the fact that Michigan is my surest bet of the year. Michigan wins again this year.
That's your surest bet of the season?
My
is
surest bet
that
of the
Michigan is going to beat Ohio State again this year?
Michigan beats Ohio State again this year.
So
it's about to
then,
get bad.
Before we get back to the can't miss list, what do you have projected for Ohio State? They clearly lose multiple games at that point if you think they're losing to Michigan.
No.
They only lose the Michigan game?
No, that's not true. They don't only lose the Michigan game.
They will have
a solid season. For Penn State to beat either Michigan, for Penn State to beat anybody with a pulse, they gotta show me that they could do it, right? So I'm not saying that Penn State won't go out and win the national championship, but for Penn State to do it, they gotta show me that they can do it. I think Ohio State is loaded to come back and be dominant next year. But I just think there's some questions right now on the team, and if they don't get them all figured out and humming by the time they get to Michigan, I think the energy surrounding that game, which I've never seen it like this in all of my time watching college football. I've never seen it like this. I've never seen the energy, the vibes from the Ohio State faithful surrounding this game be this low. I've never seen this. Like, I remember the niggas I used to fuck with that will watch Ohio State, Michigan football. They would be trolling the Michigan players during the game. What was the big receiver that Michigan had back in the day? was the guy from like 2010 or 2011? What was his name?
Devin Funches?
Nah, not Funches.
Big receiver.
He was a receiver. This guy was great. I can't remember his name. But I remember my friends all being like, "Look at this. This nigga's scared." And we were just watching him for the entire game. I can't remember his name. Like, look at him. He's scared. Ohio State was toying with Michigan, like fucking over them, doing whatever they wanted to. And now that's over. That loss last year, bro. That's a top 10 all-time stinker.
So the championship means nothing. The confidence built from the championship means nothing going into the season and going into.
It don't mean shit to us.
Obviously, it doesn't mean anything to y'all. I'm saying for us, that doesn't change things at all for us. If we have a mental block about Michigan, we don't feel like we are better.
You just said something. You said something a minute ago. You were like, Ryan Day had a mental block with beating Michigan.
Mm-hmm.
So are you under the impression that winning the national championship cleared his Michigan?
No, I'm under the impression that he has enough confidence to do what he needed to do in the last game.
But we haven't seen that yet, though, right?
We have not seen it
yet to come.
We haven't seen what this team is going to look like. So it's a hypothetical, but I have confidence that his confidence has increased.
I like the fact again that he just said everything I've been saying to you for like 2 years is that y'all don't believe it. Y'all don't believe that the tide is actually turned. Y'all don't believe that we're actually on top. That's really what the whole hammer thing was about. Let's keep it above.
But I don't. I never cared about the hammer.
I know you don't. I know you don't. I'm saying that's what it was about, though. It was, Lord Jesus, somebody find a reason why these niggas been beating us. Like, please, somebody unveil some secret reason as to why this is happening, because otherwise I don't understand it. And until we get on that board of where we was at, where like when he was talking, when they were just toying around with us at him 53-23 or whatever the hell that shit was down in Columbus. Until y'all get there, I don't think it's gonna flip back. I think the football gods want y'all to be humbled for some reason or another.
You can't humble somebody. The football gods can't humble somebody and then give them a championship in the same year. That's kind of crazy.
It's a Mickey Mouse championship.
That's not a Mickey Mouse championship. We went through multiple great teams to get there.
So, I mean, we can get back to the list after this because this is great. But I'll say this though. There is, I'm sure you guys are college football fans, so I'm assuming that you're familiar with the Bayou Classic.
Somewhat.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So if you guys don't know, because y'all are young, right? You mind asking how old y'all are? Mind asking?
I'm 32.
Okay.
I'm so glad you admitted that. I'm 34.
Okay, cool. So hold on, let me put this on.
Bayou Classic. That's is that the Raging Cajuns and who is that? It's the Louisiana game. Who is that?
Yeah, so the Bayou Classic is Southern University versus Grambling. It's HBCU game.
Grambling. Okay.
Yeah, Southern University versus Grambling. You might see it comes on like the Saturday after Thanksgiving and stuff like that.
Yep.
Here's the deal. There are only 2 games in college football that change the season totally. Only 2 games, in my opinion. Even the Iron Bowl, they could care less. The Iron Bowl is a huge, huge rivalry. But Alabama is so steeped in tradition that if they lose the Iron Bowl and win the national championship, they couldn't care less. Auburn, the same thing. They ain't got even enough national championships to be hung up on the Iron Bowl if they lose the national championship. If they lose it and then win the national championship. But the Bayou Classic, if you win the SWAC and you win the Black College National Championship, it is meaningless if you are Grambling and you lost to Southern, or you are Southern and you lost to Grambling. The entire alumni base, the entire fan base, everyone, the children, the old people, the fathers, the grandfathers, the mothers, the grandmothers, the aunties, the aunts, everybody that came to New Orleans, there are some people that only go to 1 game a year, and that's the game, and you got to win it. The only other game in college football is the big game. That's the only other one that's like that. To me, there are a lot of rivalry games. There's the Red River Shootout or whatever they want to call it now, the Red River rivalry.
Yeah.
There's the biggest cocktail party, and there's all of this. It's Georgia, Florida. There's all kinds of games. But the one that is like the Bayou Classic, or the one that the Bayou Classic is like, in that this is the lifeblood culturally of the state, Michigan, Ohio State.
Facts.
So, so to me, Michigan got a national championship.
They had a highlight to their 5-loss season. Anyway, let's get back to this list.
So I'm gonna throw up a few additions,
Go
and
for
you
it.
tell me yay or nay.
Talk to me.
I think one of them you already agree on is Saquon Barkley.
That was a miss by me. Yeah.
Okay. Jameis Winston.
Nah.
Explain.
Nah. He's a fantastic quarterback.
So Cam Newton's 1 year at Auburn earned him the spot.
I'm
just asking. I just want to know. I just want to know. So Cam's 1 year at Auburn. I just want to know.
Clip this.
Or Joe Burrow's 1 year at
Or Joe Burrow's 1 year at LSU.
Clip this clip for Twitter. I want you to say right now that watching Cam Newton and watching Jameis Winston is the same thing.
No, I'm not saying that. I'm not gonna say that because that's not the truth.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't.
Yeah,
say that.
okay.
You're not about to set me up for no shit like that.
Okay, because I was trying to clip this clip for like Jameis Winston. No, not the same. No.
I'm just asking: was Jameis Winston in 14 and 15 not a can't miss, a must watch type of player? Is what I was asking.
Honestly, to me, and this gonna be a lot of people going because he was one that people brought up. To me, no. To me, Jameis Winston was the epitome of an actual real winner, a winning, accurate, highly competitive, motivating quarterback, right? All of that stuff. But I'm talking about wow type of plays, wow type of ridiculous plays to where you're going to miss him do something amazing. And that's not even Jameis's game.
He was a Heisman winner. And you gotta have a season full of highlight reel to win the Heisman, do you not?
Yeah, you do. But not all Heisman winners are created equally.
Well, that's a hard thing to decipher. Where do we draw the line on who's a real Heisman winner and who's not? Or not even a real?
They're all real Heisman winners, but not all Heisman winners are created equally in terms of how pleasing aesthetically they are. I mean, Bryce Young won the Heisman. I don't think that anyone would be arguing that Bryce Young is the type of player. I mean, he's excellent. The Heisman is about excellence, and you need Heisman moments, but sometimes a Heisman moment is a clutch throw. It doesn't have to be an overwhelmingly aesthetically pleasing look at what he can do, wow type of play. It could be a clutch play. Your Heisman moment could be.
So then,
go ahead.
So then, obviously, this is not a stats conversation,
right?
Because
that's what I was getting ready.
Obviously, it's not. But if I can at least put out there a human highlight reel in Braxton Miller, whose career was cut short, mind you, because of an injury and then a switch to wide receiver. Braxton Miller is absolutely every bit of a highlight reel to an effect of a can't miss player.
This wasn't discussed in the pre-production. I didn't know.
This is sad.
You mentioned highlight reel.
I was giving.
Braxton Miller is
I was going to actually back you up if you was going where I thought you was
is
going. I can't back you up on Braxton Miller.
This is sad.
You can't.
Come on, man. We
need to pull up a highlight reel of Braxton Miller.
Yeah, no, but it's not. You do your thing. I'm not hating on Braxton Miller. By the way, like everything that happened with Braxton Miller, I honestly think it's one of the great stories in college football history. It's a sad story, but it's also a great story about how somebody persevered and went through a lot. Like, I have all the respect in the world for Braxton Miller, but come on, man.
I think he's definitely can't miss, but that's not the point. He's not even a person that's on my list, but we're talking about highlight reels.
Okay, where cool. I thought he was going was the fact that there have been, in the last 15 years, 3 defensive players, 3 full-time defensive players from the Big Ten to make it into the top 5 of the Heisman voting.
And 2 edge rushers specifically.
When we're talking about highlight,
Can I try to guess?
Go.
You should know who it is, but go ahead.
Well, I mean, I'm not I'm one of those.
I think I mentioned both of them.
I'm one of those people that don't. I don't. Oh, you did. You actually know what you did, because Aiden Hutchinson and Chase Young are two.
Yep.
If I could think of the third one since 2010 on the edge, what team?
Just on defense. Big Ten team.
Oh, just on defense.
Just on defense. Defensive player.
Oh, no, tell me. I can't remember.
Jabril.
Oh, Jabril Peppers. Oh, man.
I wouldn't remember Jabril Peppers either.
Is there a comparison in the style of play, the amount of highlights, the wow factor between Jabril Peppers and Tyrann Mathieu? Is there a comparison between them to you?
On the defensive side of the ball, yes. Tyrann Mathieu didn't play enough offense for me to compare him to Jabril Peppers. Jabril Peppers got snaps at quarterback, wide receiver, running back. He was on special teams. He played corner, linebacker, and safety in his time on D. I think Jabril, maybe a hot take, I think he did more.
D. Yeah, it's very true. So he definitely does a lot on D.
Okay.
Like that for
this has to be seats right now.
But I'll say this though, and I get it, I understand this, but I personally don't think the Tyrann Mathieu, who became a cultural entity in and of himself because of the plays he made, the way that he made these plays, and some of the big moments that he had. I don't think that there are a lot of people. There are a lot of people who might say that Jabril Peppers was a better player than Tyrann Mathieu. I'm not talking about that. I don't think that there are very, very many people that would say that Jabril Peppers was in the same stratosphere as exciting players to watch if you're comparing him to Tyrann Mathieu. I just don't think that there are very many people who would say that.
Aren't you kind of making him a victim of his time in that regard, though, since he came a few years after Tyrann had already got drafted to the NFL? Like, if
talking about what happened.
Peppers comes first before Tyrann Mathieu, you think they view those two players in the same way?
I don't know. I'm just talking about what happened. So, like, you know what I mean? I'm just talking about what happened. So I'm legitimately just talking about what happened. So look, let's take Peppers, Chase Young, and Hutchinson. Let's take them all together. Let's take all these players together. I'm gonna date myself by saying this. Orlando Pace was a Heisman finalist, right?
Sure.
Or Orlando Pace, who is one of the best football players I've ever seen. One of the best football players. He was a Heisman finalist.
Yeah.
Being a Heisman finalist in and of itself doesn't necessarily mean that what you did was so captivating that people have to turn on the games and watch you. No one would say that an offensive lineman kind of fits that bill. I would say that Troy Smith fit that bill.
Man.
Definitely. Yeah. I would say that he fit that bill, but I would say that a lot of this stuff, look, it's with any sport, right? It's with any sport. Like you could compare a bunch of different two guards to Vince Carter, but you wanted to watch Vince Carter every second and every minute that he played. There are two guards that were much better than Vince Carter and much more effective than Vince Carter, but you wanted to watch Vince Carter every single second that he played because his capability to do something amazing was so overwhelming that you could not miss 1 second. Vince Carter was going to do things that other players were not going to do. And, you know, bending your shoulder around the edge and getting a sack, there are players, LeVar Arrington, when I watched him, like on defense, like jumping over people. Jadeveon Clowney, even though to me, I could make an argument that Jadeveon Clowney kind of lived off of a couple of highlight tape plays and
one in particular.
Yeah.
No, we don't gotta do that. You know,
just throwing that out there.
It's all good.
I'm just being for real. So, but like guys like that, like, oh my God, who is he gonna ragdoll? What is he gonna do? I just would not say that Chase, and it's especially not Aiden Hutchinson. Chase was a dog and is a dog. Aiden Hutchinson is better than Chase, but I would say he was not the type of player that you was gonna watch and be like, oh my God, I can't believe what Aiden Hutchinson just did. I can't.
Man, the fact that we both just caught strays there is insane.
Yeah. No, okay. All right, let's get off this funky ass list. I want to ask you a few questions about your conference this year. Who do you think is going to win it? And don't tell me LSU just for the sake of it being LSU. If
He
it's
thinks it's
LSU, you
gonna
better
be
give me a
LSU.
damn good
It's
reason.
probably Texas. Probably Texas.
Okay.
So look, think about what's going on. And you guys, I'll tell you this. You guys are going to experience a lot of success this season because this is the type of season that podcasting was made for, right? There's no team right now. We're in the wilderness of college football. We're in the wilderness. Everything is changing. Everything is so fluid, right? You have the playoff still becoming, it's still brand new. You have NIL, you have the transfer portal. These things we're kind of getting used to, but they're changing the dynamics in these teams every single second. And because of that, we've come into a college football season with a bunch of good players, with a bunch of talented head coaches, but questions everywhere. And you would like to think that it's the team with the least amount of questions that's going to end up winning it all and going far. If so, then that's Penn State, right? To me, even though they have Warren, they have some guys that they have to replace. But in the SEC specifically, we're seeing new quarterbacks everywhere. We're seeing offensive lines. Like LSU is a team. We've seen teams that have really fatal flaws. Like LSU is a team that was able to go out and collate a bunch of talent using the transfer portal, and they're going to listen. Their guys last year, they're looking for them to take the next step. But then the one place in any football team that you will want to be solid, they're not. And that's along the offensive line. So if they go out and give up 5 sacks and rush for 12 yards against Clemson, then they're going to have to come back the next week against Louisiana Tech and demonstrate that the offensive line is coming together. So in the SEC, Texas has the best talent surrounding their quarterback, but their quarterback is a fucking question mark. Tennessee would have had an amazing chance to come back and go deep and win the SEC, but they lost their quarterback on some different shit, right?
Yep.
So you're seeing this everywhere in the league, breaking in a new QB at Ole Miss. It depends on how good Austin Simmons is. You're seeing this all over the league.
Bama,
Georgia,
Georgia,
technically, but
he
still,
GA
he
Tech
played
game.
the playoff games, yeah.
But an unknown commodity in terms of what does it mean for Gunnar Stockton to come out and have an entire season where we're orienting our offense around Gunnar Stockton.
Yeah, it's true.
And so that's the thing. So I would have to say if I'm making a $1 billion bet, then it's going to be Texas, because Texas has the best talent infrastructure. But man, we don't know, and we don't know how good Arch is. How good do y'all think Arch is?
I think Arch is good. I think Arch is solid.
Undecided.
I think he's going to do good enough to get them through most of the playoffs, unless he sees a team again after week 1. But it's neither here nor there.
We were just talking about this when we were waiting for you to get in, because you'd be on CP time. But we
you've been throwing strays at us this entire time. Now
you had to catch one.
No, I got it. That's good. I was like, damn, nigga just got me. But yeah, I got it.
we was talking about it, and I feel like Arch is in this very unique position where he could come out week 1 versus Ohio State, throw up a stinker, turn the ball over 2 times, not really get the offense going, lose to Ohio State on the road. He's going to be the starting quarterback next week. The backup will get no burn, and he will continue to be the starting quarterback unless he completely falls off the cliff for the rest of the season. I don't know if there's a new quarterback stepping into their starting position who has that luxury, who has the, hey, listen, this guy is bad enough we made him wait as long as he did. He's obviously going to get the longest rope that we can possibly give to any new starting quarterback. The name on the back of the jersey,
from a certain pedigree.
It's just, he's going to be protected a lot more than any other starter. So,
but isn't that a good thing though?
For him, it is.
It depends on how it goes.
So this is why I asked that question, because I remember quarterback battles like this in the past. I remember quarterback battles like at Texas, Phil Sims playing at Texas. No, Chris Sims and Major Applewhite. Major Applewhite was a high school quarterback that came out of Baton Rouge, from Baton Rouge Catholic High. You guys have heard of Major Applewhite. He's a coach now. He's coaching. Yep. Yeah. But he went to Texas and was balling. They bring in, it's almost the same situation when you think about it. They bring in Chris Sims, who was the number 1 recruit, which Major Applewhite was not coming out of Baton Rouge. The number 1 recruit coming out, also the son of a very well-known Super Bowl winning kind of quarterback, Jeff Hostetler, maybe. And so, you bring him in, and the entire fan base no longer is going to go with the guy that has played above his talent level. They want to see the guy that they were told was football Jesus.
Yep.
Now, that goes 2 ways. If that guy doesn't have it, then he sinks your program. And I mean that very directly. If that guy doesn't have it, then he can sink your program for a couple of years because you got to play him and he doesn't have it.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're not repping out in the right way. It might change. Having a quarterback like that changes the QBs that you can recruit behind him, because it's like, yeah, do I want to come to Texas when this guy's got it locked down for whatever? This is kind of not the situation with Archie's been there a couple of years. But if the guy does have it and he just needs a couple of snaps or be able to make a couple of mistakes without worried about being yanked, then it's the best possible thing to have some stability and some clarity at that position, the most important position. So for Arch, there is no going back. And that's good for Texas. That's good for Texas. Sark is going to have to earn his money. If he comes out and puts a game plan together and the kid can't execute it, he needs to figure out a way to make him successful in the offense, because benching him at this particular point is going to be very, very, very difficult. But I think it could be a good thing for them.
And extremely costly, obviously, for multiple reasons. He's not going to get rid of Arch Manning.
No. I mean, look,
go ahead.
I was going to say, we all know where it's going, and we know why it's going that way. And if all goes well, it works out for everybody. It was a good move for everybody. It's really only the doomsday disaster situation of he just can't do it that ultimately would lead us to the point,
which would be insane coming from where he comes from.
The program, yeah, because it's not like they're going to go quietly. You know what I'm saying? They're not just going to allow their prodigy.
When do y'all think we'll know?
Probably the first game.
I think after the first game, I think we'll know whether or not he's capable of leading Texas to an SEC championship, whether he wins or not. Right. I'm not putting he has to win to prove that he's a legitimate starter, but he'll show in that game whether or not he can hang.
But that defense is crazy, though.
No, they are. But in comparison to the guy on the other side, Julian's saying this is going to be his first time stepping on in real meaningful game snaps at all.
Yeah.
So the levels of jeopardy, I feel like are crazy tip towards saying, because you think about him, he beat out a guy who Ryan Day actually recruited, who he went and sat down in his kid's house and talked to his dad and talked to his mom and told him what the roster schedule was looking like, and told him, here, oh man, 2025, it'll be your competition, it'll be your go. And then so now you got to look at it from his standpoint. All right, you're a transfer. You're clearly the more talented younger gun, but if you can't get it done when the lights come on,
I got a guy right here.
Will he go back to the guy that he brought in here, as opposed to Sark? That is his guy. That's the house. That is the university. That's the job. That's it.
You guys don't think that's going to be a game where the quarterbacks struggle?
I do, because I think both defenses have the game plan of put all the pressure on the quarterback. And both defenses have players. Both defenses have players that are definitely coming for the quarterback.
But it's going to come down to which quarterback is going to be able to remain poised and actually get first downs and actually score touchdowns and not kick field goals. That's going to be the person who wins, or excuse me, that's going to be the team that wins, right? And when you get into those stalemate games early in the season where nobody's really got their footing, right? Offense is spinning. We got new quarterbacks, new offensive lines. Things are out of whack. It comes down to who's going to control the line of scrimmage, who's going to get in the red zone and score touchdowns instead of posting up field goals that can be hawked down within one score, who's going to take care of the football and make sure we're not handing it over to the other team. A lot of those responsibilities are going to be laid at the feet of the quarterback, fairly or unfairly.
Absolutely. So, I told you before we got Van Lathan in the room that I think because the weapons on the Ohio State side are so good, so proven, it's a little bit different on that side, to the point that I think the pressure is close between the two.
You know, my thought is this. In terms of the quarterback play, the quarterback that's able to move the ball and get some timely first downs with his feet is going to give his offense a huge, huge advantage. I know that people say that, you know, Arch is like, he throws like his Uncle Peyton and he runs like Michael Vick. I don't know that it's quite to that point.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
But you know, he's definitely incredibly mobile and can run. I just think this game is such a massive game. It's a tempo setter for the entire college football season. And I don't know if we're going to get top tier quarterback play. I would be very surprised if we did. But I think that the scheme and the ability to make the quarterback, to put your quarterback in a position where he can gain positive yards, make timely plays, and not have the huge mistakes against two defenses that are fucking great. Like great defenses with the safety play for Ohio State, and you come back and the linebacker play for Texas. Like you're looking at two, you can hurt your team on offense in this game. So the easy yards, the getting 5 or 6, hitting the slants, hitting the back shoulders, going out of bounds, throwing balls that the defense can't have the opportunity to make a play on, rolling the pocket and getting out of the way and being able to cut half of the field off and have your QB go through a 2 or 3 read progression. Whoever makes it easy enough for their quarterback to execute will have a major advantage in this game. But god damn, that's a tough game for it to be your first motherfucking big time start.
It is.
That's a tough situation.
It is.
For saying that's not good.
That's the one. That's the one.
It's a lot of pressure, and I would never want to be in that man's shoes. But I think he's got
the game.
I think he's got it because of the people around him more so than anything else. There's too many people from the talent on the field and the coaches off the field that are going to assist him to a win against the Longhorns.
Do you watch Big Ten ball enough to pick a Big Ten champ?
Yeah, I do. I mean, at this point, Big Ten ball is so. I gotta watch my MAC ball. Oh, do I love watching MAC ball?
MAC football?
MAC football is crazy.
Do I love MAC and we don't even watch MAC football?
I watch MAC football. Don't
y'all go?
On me.
Where'd y'all go?
Akron.
Oh,
Akron. That's the one you yell about.
Oh, the Zips.
Yes, unfortunately.
That's what y'all don't see. Y'all don't understand. MAC Tuesday nights. Akron. The Ohio Bobcats. Miami of Ohio. Like all of this stuff. Like you don't get me started about my Maction. I got to get some Maction in.
My Maction? You want to put your name on that?
My Maction. Y'all went to Akron. Yo. Y'all ain't got no love for the Zips. Y'all about to have me feeling like fucking Snoop up here at the Source Awards. Y'all ain't got no love.
You know why it's hard to have love for the Zips? They're not even playing football right now.
I know.
So
yeah.
How can I have love for that?
But so yeah, I watch a lot of Big Ten football. The Big Ten's in an interesting place right now, and I like it.
The best conference.
They are.
Okay.
I have no problem saying that. Listen, I gotta tell y'all something real quick. I gotta tell y'all something real quick. I'm always gonna believe that the best football is played in the SEC, right? But if it's not, I don't give a fuck. I care about LSU, Louisiana State University, Baton Rouge, Tiger Stadium, and all of that. I care about the SEC as a functioning conference insofar as being a member of the premier conference comes with privileges. That's why fans on the periphery of this should care about how good their conference is. You want to know, in the old days, the bowl games, the TV slots, all of that matter to attracting recruits to conferences and to deepening the way that you can recruit in different ways. I would always be like, yo, yeah, let's go play Texas when they were in there. Let's go play some of these other teams when so we can deepen our recruiting and our pipelines. Yeah, so I'm with it. But look, the reality is the Big Ten has 2 straight national champions, and they're different national champions. This is what matters. When people would talk about the SEC and the dominance, it was important to remember that the most important thing about the SEC's dominance was the number of teams that had won national championships in the time that this run had happened. You had Georgia, you had LSU, you had Florida, you had Alabama, you had Auburn. You had 5 different teams since 2000 win national championships. There's nothing you can say about that. Is there SEC bias? Is there an East Coast bias? Is there a West Coast bias? Is there a fucking white boy rapper bias? Is there a bias with women with big tits? Yeah, it's a bias because the fucking thing is bias because that's what's popping right now. Yeah. So when you look at that, that's fine. If Penn State wins, and they're probably everybody's most stable team. That's 3 different teams in 3 different years. That to me is a variety of different ways to win football games and the strength of different conferences, of different programs, should I say, being represented. But even without this year, they winning. And they also having teams that's popping up out of fucking nowhere. Indiana teams like that, they're popping up out of nowhere.
Nebraska this year, probably.
This is a big deal. I don't know about Nebraska.
You don't know about Dylan Raiola and Matt Rule?
I'm not high on Matt Rule.
I don't.
Dylan Raiola and their defense, that's decent. Not good enough to beat probably.
Can I ask you guys a question?
Some of the best teams, but
Josh, let me ask you this. Why do you think that Dylan Raiola is good?
Why do I think he's good?
Yeah,
he's at least serviceable, and if he can improve, he will be one of the best quarterbacks in the conference. See Bryce Underwood, Julian Sayin, and then who else? Yeah. I forgot he came from LSU. It's been so long. I forgot about that.
It's for you, baby. Funny. I forgot. I shouldn't have said all of the nice things that I said about Michigan. That's for you. That's for you right there. I wish I wish
blame Brian Kelly. Anyway,
I wish him well.
And man, listen,
no smoke for Cruz. Young black man make the best.
He's a hometown kid. He from was it Belleville? He's from Belleville, Michigan,
getting his bread.
But I'll say this though, like Dylan Raiola has showed at times that he can make different throws, and these are big time throws. I'm not gonna bullshit you. Like I've seen him making them, but I don't know that I've seen very much from Dylan Raiola to make me believe that. And I could be proven wrong, to make me believe that like Dylan Raiola coming back, like Lenora Sellers. I saw stuff from Lenora Sellers that made me think, okay, Lenora Sellers is coming.
Got something. He got something down there
that he's coming. But Dylan Raiola, I don't know. I guess the argument for Nebraska would be that the 3rd year of a Matt Rule situation is always when he seems to have his team figured out and they seem to really play for him.
I was literally about to say, I don't think this is going to be Dylan Raiola's year either. I think it's probably going to be next year when, besides Ohio State and Michigan, who's going to be the next one? Maybe Oregon, but outside of that.
If there's a sleeper team in the Big Ten right now for me, it's Illinois. You talk about a team who touted a respectable defensive line, or a plus. They had 2 All-Americans on there. Plus defensive line, a returning quarterback. They seem to always get these random weapons in the transfer portal now that they got Bielema over there. If you're afraid of a random team popping up out of nowhere this year for them, even more so than Indiana this year. I'm looking at Illinois to be that second tier Big Ten team to make some noise later in the season.
For this year, I agree.
Favorable schedule. They play good defense. They got a senior at quarterback.
Luke Altmaier has been there for a while.
Yeah.
What about Oregon?
I'm not afraid of Oregon. See, there was a few teams that we got close to last year that I felt like if we had competent quarterback play, we would have beat. Oregon and Indiana are on that list. Hell, Illinois is on that list, but for sure Indiana and Oregon are on that list because we shouldn't have got as close as we did to beating them in the first place, not being able to move the ball like we were. I don't. It'll be Ohio State, Penn State, Michigan, Illinois is probably your in the last couple of weeks of the season who's vying for the Big Ten championship is what I'm looking at.
I think if they returned a Dylan Gabriel or who's my guy, the wide receiver that started for them last year,
Stewart
his name
or Evan Stewart. No,
the guy that's gone now.
Yeah.
Why
can't I think of his name? Bo Nix is
it Taz Williams?
Yeah, Tez Williams.
Tez Williams.
Yeah, if they return a guy like that, even just one of them, maybe. I know Decorian Moore out there seems like he's going to be a problem. But they lost too much talent wise. I feel like they're returning some people, but they just don't scare me. They don't scare me like that.
So Dante being up there, I'm still interested in what he can do when he's really buckled down and a part of a real college football culture. I think if Decorian Moore has a Ryan Williams like impact, he don't have to be quite. I ain't never seen no shit like that before.
Right.
The real difference between Ryan Williams, I could make an argument, guys, that's a can't miss guy.
You would have to make the argument that Jeremiah Smith is the can't miss guy first.
I could make an argument that he is, but once again, it is the types of plays. But honestly, he's a guy that the difference between him and Jeremiah Smith is Jeremiah Smith has all the measurables, and Ryan Williams does it a little different way. My point is this: insane body control, crazy hands, and being twitchy. My thing is, if Decorian Moore, he doesn't have to be exactly that, but if he can really be a real plus and get acclimated to the game quickly, they're gonna need that because without Evan Stewart, their wide receiver room just doesn't look like it's very much to it. They got tight ends that they like. They could go out there and run some got a bunch of them. They could run some real heavy packages, and they could use those guys as pass catchers and also use them to get a little bit more brutal in the run game. They could do all of that, but it's not going to come from guys stretching the field or really winning crazy one-on-ones in the wide receiver game, which it seems like now you kind of got to be able to do to a degree in the Big Ten. You got to be able to have your wide receivers go out there. It's not just we're going to pound the ball and then throw it to the big white tight end with long hair. It seems like the Big Ten has finally started to play modern football, and I'm proud of y'all that y'all were able to get there, man.
Except Michigan.
I thought
Michigan doesn't subscribe to
that. I do think
Michigan is there though, because if Underwood,
he's the quarterback, but then what's the receiving room?
Hey, listen, man, we're not doing this right now. I do think that this is the year though that Dan Lanning's play calling style catches up with him.
Yes.
The whole I'm going for it on fourth down in the first quarter in my own territory. That horse shit is going to catch him an L this year. I guarantee you. I'm gonna lock that.
Wholeheartedly agree with that. And I would say the large packages with I can't even say large package with the water bottle. I can't even say that. The tight end packages, you can't do that to that level and scare somebody the way Oregon scared people last year at the very least.
Yeah. What happened in that game, man?
The first game or second game?
The second game, man. What the fuck happened to them, man? What happened? What happened in that game?
They thought they were something that they weren't, and Ohio State came and showed them that they weren't.
Yeah, you know what?
To a level, that's what it is. You can't really
Ryan Day, if I could give him a compliment, if I could find one around here, I will say he's other than Michigan, he's fairly good in revenge games. People usually don't spin the block on Ryan. And that's why it's been such an impressive feat to me that we've kind of been holding down underneath our boot here the last 4 years, because that usually doesn't happen, right? Clemson gets one off of him, he turn around and he blow them sky high, right? Who else we talking about? Iowa. Y'all lost to Iowa not Iowa, Purdue. Lost Purdue the one year with Rondell Moore. Was that Urban Meyer?
Yep.
Damn. Okay.
Yeah. I mean, look, Ryan Day, this is my thing. Ryan Day reminds me of Les Miles. Now, let me tell you why.
I don't know how I feel about that. But
Let me tell you why.
I'm gonna let you get it off.
Oh, it's definitely not a compliment, but it's definitely not that. But let me tell you why. The difference between Ryan Day and Les Miles is that Ryan Day is a football genius, and Les Miles was a people genius. So Les Miles coached in a way that made his players, like, he instilled 4th and 2, we going for it. Like, I know Jacob Hester can get these 2 yards. Like, those players were confident. They believed that they were the baddest motherfuckers in the world when they walked on that field. When they, like, those LSU players from all of those teams, they were confident. They played loose. They played fast. They played nasty. They played with, like, an unbelievable sense of self, right? Now, what he couldn't do was manage the clock. What he couldn't do was develop a quarterback. What he couldn't do was hire the right offensive staff to do either, right? But as far as a person, a dude that had a vision for the type of player that was going to succeed in his program, he was a genius at that. Ryan Day is just an X's and O's guy, a dude. But they both have, like, a fatal flaw, which is they oftentimes pick the wrong opportunities to try to prove shit.
I would agree with that.
They take the wrong. They sometimes can be guys like Ryan Day. It's a weird situation that we're in right now. We could be on the path to Ryan Day being like Woody Hayes. Not saying he's gonna smack nobody, but Ryan Day being like a legendary Ohio State coach, or Ryan Day could be an NFL offensive coordinator in 2 years. Like,
I can see either one of those happening too.
Yeah, if you know what I mean. Like, they're not gonna do nothing to him after this year. They're not gonna do nothing to him even after next year. But if he loses the game, there's a what I meant by him and Les Miles is there are just enough flaws for you not to totally believe in them, which is what other coaches would take away from you. Urban Meyer, when Urban Meyer was doing his thing, y'all say what the fuck y'all want about Urban Meyer. When Urban Meyer will put a team on the field, you'd be like, we're gonna win. When Nick Saban will put a team on the field, we gonna win. Kirby Smart, we'll see how it happens now that they're running into some problems. Put a team on the field, we gonna win. We gonna win. Our guys know what they're supposed to do and how they're supposed to get their shit off. Ryan Day is still a guy that puts fucking unicorns out on that football field. Like, unicorns out on that football field. The recruiting is crazy. The development is crazy. Not just the recruiting. They're developing these players. These players are getting better while they're at Ohio State. Then they lose to Michigan. So you, like, with everything that's going right, you wonder what's going to go wrong, which is an odd thing. What is it about him? What is that?
You're talking to a Buckeye player who believes that he's turned a new leaf in winning a national championship.
He might.
But I can't prove it, so I can't stand by that quite yet. I just have the feeling.
What makes you feel that way, though? What makes you feel that way, though? Seriously.
I'm
not trolling. I'm asking.
No, that's fair. The way that they won throughout the playoffs after losing to Michigan again.
Like, they just knew they was like what basically what I just said. Like, they knew they were.
There was no stopping them once they turned it on against Tennessee. It was just full force right from there.
Marcus, you don't believe?
I don't believe. I won't believe until I see a change in philosophy and
that's fair.
Judging from recruiting, judging from the playing style, it seems like they seem to go forward with Sand over Keenholz. I think I know what the answer is. I honestly do. I think I know what the answer is, but I don't think that they will listen. And I'm cool with that. I'm good with the fact that they won't actually take the actual answer from us. But there was one thing about Ohio State in their personnel that was very apparent while Urban Meyer was there in terms of their signal callers. And it was listen, man, I'm not really trying to be anti-white quarterback here, but it just was what it was. Justin Fields, Dwayne Haskins, Terrell Pryor,
Braxton Miller.
I'm just saying.
Even Cardale Jones came from the third on the depth chart.
I love him.
Troy Smith earlier.
That's my favorite. That's my favorite Ohio State quarterback ever.
Yeah, that's the only
I was
going to
make a point for him for at least less than a season. He was can't miss.
I'll be honest with you.
He was can't miss.
I'll be honest with you. If we're doing a can't miss caveat for like the time when he was really cooking, boy, he was busting ass, man.
It was only
big, strong,
3-4 games, but
y'all talking about Cardale Jones?
Yeah.
I was talking about Troy Smith.
Oh no, Troy Smith was the man. Troy Smith was
like, but that was outside of 15 years anyway.
That was outside of the realm.
That was outside of 15 years, and like, but look. So you think that Ryan Day needs to get back to the good old black quarterback?
I'm not arguing against that.
He had one on the roster and he ran him out of town before he had a chance to compete for the starting job.
I'm not arguing against that because the proof is there. Black quarterbacks at Ohio State have been doing the damn thing. So
Kyle McCord led the league in passing last year. He's not too shabby. He's actually a fairly decent quarterback, and I think he probably would have not beat us.
Wait a second though.
Well, he would have had a good game.
Let's look at that.
If Kyle McCord would have stayed, you think they would have beat us?
No. I don't know that they could have done anything to beat y'all. I think they could have had Eddie George out there. And they would have. I think they could have had Eddie George, David Boston. I think they could have had. You know what I'm saying? I think they were losing that fucking game. All right, I'm just being for real. I think they were losing that game. But you also have to look at the fact when you're talking about Ryan Day that he couldn't find a way to make Kyle McCord into a quarterback that the rest of the team could get behind, that the fan base could get behind, and this guy went somewhere else and put up historic numbers. Like you don't expect that. Like now, obviously that happened with Joe Burrow, right? But I'm gonna be honest with you. There were a lot of extenuating circumstances that led to Joe Burrow leaving Ohio State, right?
Well, yeah, that's a completely different situation.
Injury stuff. Dwayne Haskins is
still had 50 touchdowns that year.
Yeah, God rest his soul. Dwayne Haskins is like everybody goes, oh my God, they had Joe Burrow, they let Joe Burrow leave. That's not what happened. What happened is Joe Burrow was very competitive in a QB battle. He got hurt, and then they had Dwayne Haskins, who was a motherfucker, right? So that is what it is. That's not what happened with the Kyle McCord thing. Kyle McCord was at Ohio State and he couldn't get his shit together. And then he goes somewhere and he gets his shit together.
Because it's a level down from where he was.
It's Syracuse.
You can't give me the rolling eyes. It's Syracuse.
It's Syracuse.
So listen, I'm not trying to compare the ACC to the Big Ten. I'm just saying it's still ball.
But he's different.
Still Division
ball. Yeah, he is playing ball, but it's not the same ball. It's a slightly less.
So are you telling me right now that a middling? Because I don't think this is true. You're telling me right now that a middling Big Ten quarterback is a historic ACC quarterback?
Not every time. No, not necessarily. In this case, he needed to take a step back, and he did so, and played against teams. He didn't even play against the best teams in the ACC. He didn't play against Clemson. He didn't play against Miami. So
I don't know, man.
Actually, did they? They might have. Did they not?
I think they did play Miami. I think they did play Miami. But I don't know, man. But I think he looked really confident and like he was having a lot of fun throwing the ball around all around the yard.
The worst division of the ACC.
He didn't look like he was having that much fun at Ohio State, where you guys were
fucking not having fun because fans were shitting on him every week. So he was not having fun. It is what it is.
I got one more question for you guys. Just a question I want to ask you guys, just as Big Ten fans. I do CNN, right? And I'm on CNN all the time with a bunch of different people, and they're conservatives. We don't have to get into any politics. Try to keep, we don't have to get any politics. But I think people that read my shit know how I feel about all the dumbass shit. And when I was on there and Biden was the president, their job was to try to subvert what President Biden was doing. Their job was to say, it doesn't matter what happens. 100,000 black kids get 1,600 on the SAT. Who cares? Let me tell you how much that costs. Their job was to poke holes in it. Then Trump wins. I go on CNN. They're still talking about Joe Biden, and I said to them, you guys don't have to do this anymore. I said it. Like, you can go look at the clip on YouTube. I said, y'all ain't got to do this no more. This is not about, like, strut.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Walk, do your thing.
Mm-hmm.
I feel that way about the Big Ten. The whole Big Ten SEC thing, y'all don't got to do that no more. Any SEC fan right now that's talking shit about the Big Ten is, these are probably a Gump, a backwater Alabama fan who, you know what I mean? You guys just do your shit. If Penn State wins this year, I don't know if I don't think they will, but if Penn State wins this year, or if there's a dark horse team, or if the Big Ten gets all of these playoff, whatever, if the conference continues to play like the conference is playing right now, let the SEC thing go, bruh. That kind of makes y'all look like the little bros when y'all got 2 straight national championships and y'all still care about what the SEC doing.
That's fair. I'll give you that. But it's just like our rivalry, Ohio State and Michigan's, where we shit on them for 10 years straight. They start getting some wins. Now they have to rub it in our face for at least a couple years, if not the entire time that they're doing it.
It's also
a good point.
You sit there and you take it, right? When you don't have that, you just named off 5 different national champions in between 2000 and 2018 or now. Yeah. So it's like, dog, if we got to eat that in the middle of oh my God, the only real football is played in the SEC, Southeastern Conference, the only way we play real ball, baby, roll tide. You know what I'm saying? We got to take that for as long as we taking it. Oh, no, they're going to have to eat some of this. They're going to have to.
So outside of Ohio State, Michigan, then, Penn State is a given. What are the other teams in the Big Ten that you guys feel like in the next couple of years will really threaten for national championships? So let's say we're going to get to 5. I don't know what the fuck happened in that Wisconsin right now, but let's say let's say we're going to get to 5. We're going to get to 5 teams, because remember it's LSU 3 times, Florida twice, I think, Bama an infinity sign, Auburn, and then Georgia since 2000. Some of those teams right now are down. Auburn is down. Florida it's an interesting Florida season coming up. They got the toughest schedule and the whole fucking shit, but they got a quarterback. They seem to be trending in the right direction, but Florida's down. We'll still say Florida's down. The Big Ten different. These teams are trending up. And then because of the Pac-12 infusion into the Big Ten, you have Oregon, you have SC, which I don't think very many people expect them to have a fantastic season this year, but they got, at least right now, the number 1 class in the country coming in for next year, and you would think that at some point Lincoln Riley would remember how to craft a winning football program, right? So what are the other teams besides Ohio State, Michigan, and Penn State that y'all feel like gonna get y'all to that point to where it's unfuckwittable that y'all are the top dogs?
Well, first of all, are we talking about teams that are going to win a national championship?
Not are going to. Teams that can get to the point,
can get there.
That they can win a national championship, where you could legitimately say that in the Big Ten, there are 5, maybe even 6 different schools that exhibit the dominance of the conference.
It'd have to be Oregon and SC would be the next 2 up.
So
in that order. Is Oregon first? Decided.
You also said Illinois.
I think they're a test for that this year. I don't know if that sustains like for the next few years. You know what I'm saying? Like they got a lot of older guys that came back to try to make a run. Does it look like that in 26, 27, 28? I don't have that type of confidence for Illinois. For SC, like y'all just said, these last 2 recruiting classes, in spite of them underperforming, have been stellar. And so if for nothing else than just being able to out-talent teams, you expect those chickens to come to roost at some point. With Oregon, is honestly the only thing wrong with Oregon is how much of a showboat is Dan Lanning going to be on any given Saturday to try to put them into losing situations. Like, I don't think that
you hate this nigga.
No, I don't like the way he plays the game. I don't like the way he plays the game. He's a showboat. You know what I'm saying? He don't play the game the way it's supposed to be played, and he hasn't paid for it yet, and it irritates me. It irritates me that he goes for it in his own territory so early in the game for no other reason than to try to assert dominance, to try to intimidate. You know what I'm saying? You intimidate by running the football. How you going to intimidate and you run an RPO offense?
It's like he's playing Madden and he knows the cheese, so he's going to get that fourth down. You know what I mean? Like, all right, bro.
Line up and run the ball.
Yeah, I'll say this. Oregon is one thing. It's just so much money. It's just so much money.
Yeah.
SC is very rich too, but there's something to be said, and it didn't affect Oregon last year as much as I saw it affect SC and UCLA. Man, I watched games in the Pac-12, in the Big Ten, where these teams left their fire on the bus because of the travel.
Yep.
Like
the transition into the Big Ten has been atrocious for some of these teams.
I watched Penn State go to USC, and for the first half, I'm like, SC about to bust their ass. Penn State, like for real, I'm like, what the fuck going on with this? Penn State acclimated and then ran away from them. I watched SC come and never get their team off the bus in Minnesota. It's like, I don't think it's gonna work, bro. I have no animus against SC. We split a national championship with them. It's fine, whatever. I don't know if you can play college. Not even talking about Cal being in the ACC, but I don't know if you can play college football, which is a sport that is designed around a certain degree of regionality. Like part of the reason why the team up north, as you guys are called, part of the reason why that works is because
geography.
There's geography. There's a whole deal there, right? Man, getting on a plane to go there and play in the fucking cold,
sucks.
Yeah, you go like you go. I don't know if SC is going to be able to get used to that.
It does suck, but why doesn't that work for other? Like it works well for Michigan, it works well for Ohio State. It don't work well for Minnesota or
it hasn't worked that way yet.
Sure.
It hasn't worked out yet because I don't think the talent differentials are still too great. Now, as they have to recruit in Big Ten country and NIL keeps bolstering and stuff like that, that talent differential is going to close. And so, now going to Minnesota when it's -10 and playing a football game early Saturday, it ain't gonna be so walk in the parkish.
Especially when you recruited a quarterback from California.
Yep.
Well, and he gonna always want to do that because he gonna want to have triggermen that can play the beautiful Lincoln Riley style football. So that to me is going to be an interesting experiment, and it kind of becomes a deeper conversation, in my opinion, about whether or not modern college football can endure the structural changes that the influx of money is demanding that the sport go through. I mean, if you telling me right now that LSU, Ole Miss is not the rivalry, LSU, the Magnolia Bowl, LSU, Mississippi State is not the rivalry, right? These are places that are within 4 hours of Baton Rouge. If you telling me that the rivalry is LSU, Oregon, my brother.
Yeah, that's crazy.
My friend. Okay? We have to take plane to play the game. You know what I mean? You know what I said to you, my friend?
For hours.
I'll say, hey, y'all on top of y'all shit, bro. Like, y'all got to come on I want to see y'all come and talk to us on the Ringer a little bit more. Where y'all been?
We definitely appreciate it.
We appreciate you coming on for sure, bro. We definitely appreciate you.
I was just fucking with y'all. Like, if I would have watched the clip and y'all would have been whack, I'd have been mad. But when I watched the clip, it made me smile. So I'm like, let me go ahead and chop it up with these brothers. I get called out all the time for people. This one is a call out. This was like, you put something out about college football. Let's do it. So when I watched the clip, I was like, if you guys were whack podcasters, then I'd have been like, man, why are these two white niggas? But but seriously, but it wasn't. You guys are talented, very funny. And so I wanted to stop and show some love. And I'm down to show
Appreciate
love whenever y'all need it. Yeah.